is a basket weaver. He learned the skill from his father when he was a young boy growing up in his village in Nepal. Dukta pays several rupees for each piece of rattan he cuts in a forested area about 8 kilometers from home. Usually his wife Bhavani goes with him and sometimes their son Kesab. Dukta ties about 30 pieces of cut rattan into a bundle that weighs about 15 kilos. Sometimes a bus driver allowed them to put their bundles on top of the bus, but usually the drivers refused and they had to carry the bundles about 4 hours to reach home. For 5 years, home was a single rented room without running water on the edge of Kathmandu, the capital city of Nepal. Dukta and his family moved to this area to be close to his sister after a tragedy forced them to leave their village. They had nowhere else to go. They did everything in this one room: cooking and eating, studying, relaxing, and sleeping. Dukta stored his rattan and made his baskets behind the house. The baskets he weaves are an important part of life in Nepal. They are used by porters carrying goods to remote areas without roads, and by people carrying vegetables and firewood from the fields to their homes. Dukta wove 6 or 7 baskets a week. Then he and Bhavani carried them from place to place in Kathmandu to look for buyers. Besides working in her own home, Bhavani also took housework type jobs outside her home to bring in more money for the family. But even their combined income was not enough to get ahead. The little money they made went first to pay rent and then to buy all their food at a local store. They had no space to plant their own garden and grow their own vegetables. Most of their food was bought on credit, and they were usually behind on their payments. The cost of uniforms, books, and other school supplies was more than the family could afford. Their son Kesov dropped out of school and had absolutely no plans for his future. Dukta and Bhavani wanted to live in a village again, but they were trapped by poverty. They were barely surviving in the city with just their simple farming skills and couldn't afford to move out and start over in another village. The children of families in this kind of a financial situation are very vulnerable. They are often forced to drop out of school to work and help support their families, or they are sent away to live in orphanages or children's homes in the mistaken belief that it's the only way they can get a good education or have a good home environment. As a result, many children are separated from their families. The United Nations estimates that 8 million children live in orphanages and children's homes in different countries around the world. But an average of 80% of those children have at least one living parent. In Nepal, 15,000 children live in orphanages and children's homes, even though 85% have at least one living parent. Building strong families believes that children belong with safe, loving families and shouldn't be separated from their parents by poverty. BSF operates 18-month family strengthening programs for families like Duktas so they don't have to send their children to orphanages. These programs provide vulnerable families with a comprehensive series of one-day training sessions every second month that covers topics such as what is a family, money management, health, hygiene and nutrition, valuing children, and child rights and child protection. The 18-month program includes weekly home visitations from a caring, full-time BSF program coordinator who encourages, guides, and monitors the family to help them overcome challenges and implement what they have learned. The BSF coordinator helped Dukta and Bhavani's son Keshav understand the importance of education, and he returned to school. Also part of the program, Family Fun Day every second month, alternating with the training days to help them relax together during stressful times and strengthen family ties. Education assistance in the form of school books, uniforms, and school fees help children get a head start in life and are provided until caregivers are able to cover these costs themselves. Medical checkups, first aid kits, and preventive health training to improve the health, hygiene, and nutrition of families. And one of the most important parts of the program, income generation assistance to keep the children in the family where they belong. To help Dukta generate income and reduce his living expenses, BSF built a temporary home for the family on a plot of land in a village area that's more suitable for his skills. The family worked alongside the BSF staff so it would really be their home. When it was finished, Dukta and Bhavani's family packed their belongings, loaded them onto a truck, and moved to their new home. It's a simple home, but it's enabling Dukta and Bhavani to rise above poverty and keep their family together. There's a covered outside work area where Dukta can weave baskets and other things, such as rain protection for field workers. Dukta now carries his rattan home in about 30 minutes instead of 4 hours. The time he saves is spent weaving more things to generate more income. Their new home is also right next to the main trail to their village. It's a good location for selling baskets. And now that he's back in a farming area and has more workspace, he's using his metalworking skills again to repair his neighbor's farm tools. BSF bought Dukta a hand-power blower, a hammer, and metal files to help him get started. Building Strong Families secured a 5-year lease for the land on Dukta's behalf. Dukta now pays less than a quarter of his previous monthly rent, which allows him to spend more on his family and building his business. Plus, the family grows corn and vegetables for their own use on the remainder of the land. And their son Keshav is excited about being back in school. The depression that hung over the family has lifted. The financial pressure is gone and Dukta is smiling again. Poverty no longer threatens to tear them apart and Keshav is right where he belongs, in school and with his family. For more information about building strong families, visit our website at www.building-strong-families.org. Thank you.